She saw the Hat Man. He saw the Hat Man, same room. Same night. Same entity. Same time. Neither of them knew the other was experiencing sleep paralysis. Neither of them had discussed it before. But when they woke up, when they could finally move, they both described the exact same figure. In the exact same location. Wearing the exact same clothes. How is this possible? If sleep paralysis is just a hallucination, how can two people hallucinate the same thing simultaneously? In the next 14 minutes, I'm going to show you documented cases of shared sleep paralysis. Couples. Roommates. Strangers. All experiencing the same entity at the same time. And I'm going to walk you through the scientific explanations and the paranormal ones. Because this phenomenon breaks the rules. And after hearing these cases, you'll question everything you thought you knew about consciousness, reality, and the entities that visit us at night. Before I present the cases, I need to explain why shared sleep paralysis is so important. Because if even one case is genuine, if two people truly saw the same entity without any prior communication or suggestion, then the hallucination theory falls apart. Hallucinations are private. They're generated by individual brains. They're not shared experiences. So if shared sleep paralysis is real, it means one of three things. Either there's a mechanism for brain-to-brain communication we don't understand yet. Or there's environmental factors causing both people to hallucinate similar things. Or the entities are real. External. Independent of human brains. Keep watching because I'm going to test all three theories against real cases. And you'll see which one holds up. Case 1. Portland, Oregon. 2019. A couple, married for 3 years. Both in their late 20s. Healthy. No history of sleep disorders. One night, they both wake up around 3 a.m. Both paralyzed. Both unable to move or speak. And both see the same entity. Standing at the foot of their bed. The Hat Man, tall. Dark coat. Wide-brimmed hat. The husband breaks free from paralysis first. Sits up. Turns on the light. The entity vanishes. The wife breaks free seconds later. Still terrified. And before either of them speaks, before any discussion, the husband says, "Did you see him?" The wife nods. Still unable to talk. Still shaking. Over the next hour, they separately write down what they saw. The husband in one room. The wife in another. No communication. No discussion. Just independent documentation. When they compare notes, the descriptions match. Height, approximately 7 feet. Clothing, long black coat. Hat, wide-brimmed, possibly a fedora. Position, left side of the bed, near the foot. Behavior, standing still, watching. Duration, both estimated 2 to 3 minutes. The only difference in their accounts? The husband said the hat was tilted slightly to the right. The wife didn't notice the tilt. But everything else was identical. I spoke to this couple. Verified their story. They had never experienced sleep paralysis before that night. Never discussed the Hat Man. Had no prior exposure to the phenomenon. And they swear they saw the same entity. Now, the skeptical explanation. Unconscious suggestion. Maybe one of them made a small sound or movement that triggered the other's sleep paralysis. Maybe they both woke up, saw shadows from the streetlight, and their brains pattern completed the same figure. Maybe they influenced each other's memory after the fact without realizing it. All possible. But here's what bothers me. They broke free from paralysis seconds apart. Not minutes. Seconds. And they saw the same entity before any communication. That's hard to explain with suggestion alone. Case 2. College dormitory. Boston. 2016. 3 roommates. All male. All in their early 20s. Sharing a room. One night, all 3 wake up around the same time. All paralyzed. And all 3 see the same entity. A shadow figure. Moving across the room. From the door to the window. Slowly. Deliberately. The first roommate breaks free. Yells. The other two break free immediately after. And all three start talking at once. Did you see that? The shadow? It was walking. They describe the same movement pattern. Same speed. Same trajectory. Same approximate height and build. All three swear they saw it simultaneously. Now, this case is stronger than the first. Because there were 3 witnesses. Not 2. The chance of 3 people independently hallucinating the same entity with the same behavior at the same time is statistically very low. But it's not impossible. The scientific explanation? Mass suggestion. They all woke up to the same environmental stimulus. A sound. A light change. And their brains, all in similar REM states, generated similar hallucinations. Add the power of suggestion after waking, where they influenced each other's memories, and you get consistent stories. But it requires a lot of coincidences. 3 people in REM sleep at the exact same time. All waking up simultaneously. All generating the same hallucination. Possible but unlikely. Case 3. This one is going to challenge you. Because it involves a child. A 4-year-old who couldn't have been influenced by sleep paralysis folklore or internet stories. I'm going to tell you about this case in the next 2 minutes. And it's the strongest evidence for shared sleep paralysis I've found. Keep watching. Mother and 4-year-old daughter. Sharing a bed. The daughter had nightmares and would often sleep with the mother. One night, the mother wakes up paralyzed. Classic sleep paralysis. She sees the old hag. An old woman sitting on her chest. Pressing down. The mother is terrified but can't move. Can't scream. After about a minute, she breaks free. Sits up. And her daughter wakes up crying. Hysterical. The mother comforts her. Asks what's wrong. And the daughter says, "The old lady was hurting you. I saw her. She was sitting on you. I tried to help but I couldn't move." The mother is shocked. Asks her daughter to describe the old lady. The daughter describes exactly what the mother saw. Old. Gray hair. Wrinkled face. Sitting on mommy's chest. Pressing down. The daughter is 4 years old. No exposure to sleep paralysis. No knowledge of the old hag phenomenon. Yet she described the same entity her mother saw. During the same episode. How? The skeptical explanation is that the daughter woke up, saw her mother struggling, and created a narrative to explain it. The old lady was her interpretation of her mother's distress. But that doesn't explain the physical description. The daughter described wrinkles, gray hair, specific details. Not vague shapes. Specific details that matched her mother's hallucination. And she said she couldn't move. Was she experiencing sleep paralysis too? Or was she just scared and frozen? We don't know. But the consistency is disturbing. Case 4. A couple who'd been married for 15 years. Both occasional sleep paralysis experiencers. They'd discussed their individual episodes before. Both had seen various entities over the years. But never at the same time. Until one night. They both wake up paralyzed. Both see a figure in the corner of the room. Not the Hat Man. Not shadow people. Something else. A tall, pale figure. Featureless face. Just standing there. Watching. They both break free around the same time. Both shaken. And they immediately start comparing notes. The descriptions match perfectly. Height, color, location, behavior. But here's the fascinating part. The husband says he felt like the entity was focused on him. The wife says she felt like it was focused on her. So they both saw it, but they had different subjective experiences of its attention. This suggests separate hallucinations. But the physical description was identical. How? I'm going to propose 3 theories. And I need you to listen carefully to all 3 before deciding which one makes sense. Because each theory has evidence supporting it. And each has problems. Theory 1. Subconscious communication. Humans emit subtle signals. Micro-expressions. Sounds. Movements. Pheromones. Even when paralyzed, Even when we think we're completely still, we're broadcasting information. What if, during sleep paralysis, both people pick up on these signals? The first person to enter paralysis generates a hallucination. That hallucination causes physiological responses. Faster heartbeat. Changed breathing. Subtle movements. The second person, sleeping next to them, subconsciously detects these signals. Their brain, trying to make sense of the distress signals, generates a similar hallucination. A threat. An entity. And because both brains are working with the same threat library, the same evolutionary programming, they create similar entities. This explains why shared sleep paralysis happens most often with couples or close roommates. People who sleep near each other. People who are attuned to each other's signals. This theory is scientifically sound. We know humans communicate unconsciously. We know mirror neurons exist. We know that emotions are contagious. So shared hallucinations through subconscious signal detection is plausible. But it has problems. It doesn't explain cases where both people break free at the same time with no warning. It doesn't explain the 4-year-old who described specific details. And it doesn't explain cases where the entities behave differently for each person but look the same. Theory 2: Environmental synchronization. What if the environment is the key? A sound. An electromagnetic field. A change in air pressure. Something external triggers both people into the same brain state at the same time. And because they're in the same room, experiencing the same environmental factors, their brains generate similar hallucinations. This theory is supported by research showing that EMF can trigger temporal lobe activity, the area responsible for sensing presences and generating hallucinations. So a strong EMF source in the room could affect both people simultaneously, creating synchronous sleep paralysis with similar entities. But this theory also has problems. It requires very specific conditions. The same environmental trigger affecting both people at the exact same moment in the exact same way. And it still doesn't explain why the hallucinations are so consistent. Why not different entities? Why always humanoid figures? Why always threatening? The environmental theory explains the timing but not the content. Theory 3: The entities are real. They exist independently of human brains. Sleep paralysis doesn't generate hallucinations. It opens perception. Allows us to see things that are always there but normally invisible. And when two people are in this state simultaneously, they both perceive the same entity. Because it's actually present. Actually in the room. This explains everything. The consistency. The shared descriptions. The identical behaviors. It's not two hallucinations. It's two people seeing the same thing. But this theory requires accepting something science can't prove. Non-physical entities. Beings that exist outside our normal sensory range. And it requires believing that millions of people across history aren't experiencing hallucinations. They're experiencing actual encounters with things we don't understand. Most scientists reject this theory. But most people who've experienced shared sleep paralysis believe it. They felt the presence. Saw it with someone else. And they trust their experience over scientific explanations. I don't know which theory is correct. But I'll tell you what I think. I think all three might be partially true. I think subconscious communication happens. I think environmental factors matter. And I think maybe there's something we're not measuring yet. Something about consciousness, about perception, about reality, that we don't understand. And shared sleep paralysis is a crack in our understanding. A glimpse of something stranger than hallucinations but not quite supernatural. Something in between. Here's what you should know if you've experienced shared sleep paralysis. First, document it. Both people write down their experience independently. Then compare. This creates reliable data. Second, check the environment. EMF levels. Sounds. Temperature. Air quality. Rule out physical causes. Third, don't dismiss your experience. If you saw something with someone else, that experience is valid. Even if science can't fully explain it. And finally, know that you're not alone. Thousands of people have experienced this. Shared sightings, mutual terror, collective encounters. Whatever it is, it's real to those who experience it. My next video covers the most extreme cases. Mass sleep paralysis, where entire groups experience the same entity. Hospital wards, military barracks, entire families. Cases where the shared hallucination theory completely breaks down, and where we have to start asking harder questions. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Sleep well. Stay together. And remember, if two people see the same entity, maybe it's not a hallucination. Maybe it's something else. Something we're not ready to accept yet. I'll see you in the comments. And maybe in shared consciousness.